All right. I want to start with what I always say at the beginning of ONA St. Louis meetups. I want this to be a collaborative, inclusive, safe space for sharing knowledge. So, I am Margaret Schneider. I'm a co-organizer at ONA St. Louis and director of editorial projects and a certified scrum master at ALLY. We are a digital agency for publishers and newsrooms. I'm a past board member of another media nonprofit, Washington University Student Media. So that's the nonprofit that supports the independent student paper at WashU. So in my view, reaching the goal that Irving and Mandy Jenkins and others spoke to today, and others who are running for the board or who are on the board have spoken about, combating disinformation and misinformation, that's incredibly important. To me, the way there is to enable digital journalists to become trained and informed about current technology, digital tools, remote collaboration, to experiment with new forms without fear of failure, and to bring our whole selves and that perspective to the newsroom. As we saw in today's keynote, our ethos and our rights as journalists are in question. I don't think any of us don't know that. And misinformation is deliberately being spread. So we have to be just as deliberate in our efforts to combat that and to democratize, diversify, and build inclusivity and a deep understanding of technology in newsrooms. So for my part, I've trained and worked on projects with thousands of journalists at all levels, from New York Post to Denver Post to the relaunched Dallas Morning News to the Center for Investigative Reporting. So some areas that I think are very important right now, basic security training, like that Emma Carew-Grovum provided at SourceCon and WordCamp for Publishers earlier this year, that is so essential. Owning and understanding how our own identities contribute to our understanding and connection to our communities, that is also so essential. So I've served as an ONA St. Louis co-organizer for 2 years, since ONA 17, alongside Andrew Nguyen and Dana Reek, who is here in the room. So we have built a leadership team and an ethos that welcomes and is deliberately inclusive of everyone. We've had sessions on mental health in the newsroom, diversifying the newsroom, bringing digital technology to people who do not have the kind of professional development opportunities that we have here this week. So those are a couple of things that are very important to me. One, bringing these opportunities to everybody, and two, we can't leave our identities at the door in journalistic spaces anymore. As a working journalist or working with journalists for my entire career, I've personally found power and connection in sharing all facets of my identity. So I will tell you, I'm bi, I'm genderqueer, I'm mentally non-binary, obviously in a Jewish woman's body. I've been a caregiver to multiple people with serious chronic illnesses, and I'm the daughter of a disabled veteran myself. So with all of those things, I've also dealt with my own invisible disabilities as well, all while working in newsrooms. And so I've worked my way up. I worked my way up through the college newspaper. I became editor-in-chief. I started at the copy desk and as a freelancer. I've edited multiple books, became a staff editor, an alt-weekly copy editor, and eventually was managing editor of a city and regional publication, St. Louis Magazine, before moving to ALLY. So in my role right now, I bring all of that with me, and I seek to guide editorial teams through the process of replatforming, redesigning their sites, hopefully making the CMS a better, more positive experience for everybody, and also building structures in that way that change the newsroom from the tools that we build. And that includes helping startup, small, medium newsrooms develop their strategy. So I wrote a CMS choice guide that just went up on a new publication, The Byline, so you can check that out. And I built and lead a mindfulness program at ALLY that helps us all work better together and build stronger relationships. So why does that matter? I've told Megan Murphy and others this in this story many times. When I walked in the door to ONA St. Louis for the first time, I felt so welcomed and embraced, even as a lifelong contrarian, like Irving spoke about earlier. And so I am from next door to Ferguson, Missouri. I spoke at America After Ferguson. I have always felt more working class, more of an outsider, more queer than much of the journalism world. So to me, it's crucial to open up the opportunities we have here to more journalists. For every working journalist here, There are at least 10, 20 folks who could do so much with this information. And so what I would like to do is help ONA expand its remote, in-person training and webinar opportunities to bring the expertise we have to small and local newsrooms. And I look forward to working with you all on that.
Thank you. Margaret,
Yes.
I know what you're thinking. Why, oh, why didn't I take the blue pill?
The Matrix.
Boom. Nailed it.
Beautiful.
All right. Okay, so my real question, of course, is, so you were the managing editor of a magazine, and now your title is Scrum Master.
Yes.
And that second one is very unique. And so I'm wondering what you can tell us, from that unique perspective, what have you learned, and what does a Scrum Master bring to the ONA board that is unique and special?
Absolutely. Okay, so Scrum is a way of working together. It is very flexible. It is very democratizing. In Scrum, you have a backlog of all the possible things you could do. You could put anything in that backlog. It can be as pie in the sky as you would like it to be. It can be as practical as you would like it to be. The way that we have organized ONA St. Louis is actually heavily influenced by Scrum, and it's flexible, and it is a way that everybody can collaborate without the hierarchy. It flattens it out. It makes it so it's very easy to come together and pull tasks. And so to me, that's actually one of the things I really want to bring that ethos to more newsrooms, because I feel like we get so bound up in what is our title? What is our role? I'm a director. Does that matter when I need to write something, when I'm on the ground reporting? None of those things matter. What matters is connecting with our communities, getting stories out there, teaching each other, connecting, and collaborating. So to me, Scrum erases all of that, and that's a lovely thing.
Thank you very much.